Oh, Big John Davy was a mighty man, king of the Ozark Mountain clan. Lived in a cabin that was 2 miles high, couldn't jump a tree without a bump in the sky. King of the Ozark Mountain clan. Big John Davy was a mighty man. Oh, way back in the Gulf of Mexico, ran clear up into the Ohio. Big John needed more land for corn, so he blew back the water with his buffalo horn. Big John Davy planted taters and beans, and a roast near Pat's that went to New Orleans. Oh, Big John Davy was a-going to mill. In the middle of the road he met Pikes Bill. They got in a wrestle in a shady draw, wallered out the valley of the Arkansas. King of the Ozark Mountain clan. Big John Davy was a mighty man. When Big John Davy got a little bit dry, he grabbed the Big Dipper where she hung in the sky, dipped her in the holler where he made his brew, filled all the rivers with his Mountain Dew. King of the Ozark Mountain clan. Big John Davy was a mighty man. Oh, Big John Davy had a sweet little wife. He loved her better than he loved his own life. He gave her jewels and he gave her joys, and she gave him 27 big boys. King of the Ozark Mountain clan. Big John Davy was a mighty man. Oh, Big John Davy was chasing a fox. He met Paul Bunyan and his old blue ox. The old blue ox started smelling the ground, joined right in with the old yaller hound. Here they went with a bell and a ball, chased old Red Tail away in the fall, circled the Rockies and the Blue Ridge too. And the old yaller hound kept a leading old blue. Paul and Dave sat around on the trail, showing their tobacco and a telling big tales. Oh, no one knows whatever became of Big John Davy, that man of fame. The fiddlers are playing round the moonshine still, say he's still a-living way back in the hills. King of the Ozark Mountain clan. Big John Davy was a mighty man. Big John Davy was a mighty man. Big John Davy was a mighty man. There was an old man and he had a loving wife, but she plagued him to death every day of his life. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. She plagued him in the sun and she plagued him in the shade. Every 9 months she had another little babe. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. 16 kids to hoe the corn. The oldest one was 12 when the last one was born. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. He got so thin on grunts and groans, there wasn't nothing left but skin and bones. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. The kids they squalled and the old woman cried when the old man kicked up his heels and died. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. The old woman said, don't cry like that, you've got another daddy and he's big and fat. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. The big fat daddy was jolly as a pup, but they didn't have a bed that would hold him up. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. They made him a pallet in the middle of the floor. The house fell down when he started to snore. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. The kids got out all in one piece, and the poor old woman was drowned in the grease. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. The poor little kids were very bad hurt till they found $1 million in the fat man's shirt. Sang a faddy-icky-ding-dum, faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. Faddy-icky-ding-dum, a faddy-icky-died, oh, faddy-diddle Um A-Dazey. When I was a young man, each day of the week I'd walk from Mount Evans through the canyon so deep I'd meet my lover on top of Pikes Peak. Her mother and father, she never did know, for she'd been adopted by the wild buffalo. The skin on her body was whiter than snow. Nobody believes me, but what do I care? I was raised by a panther and a grizzly bear. When I saw this maiden, I thought her so fair. I started towards her, and I couldn't speak. She ran up the mountain just like a blue streak. I overtook her on top of Pikes Peak. She purred like a kitten, she cooed like a dove. The stars began dancing in the heavens above. That's how we started to falling in love. She went to her valley, this maiden so fair. I went to Mount Everest and my old mother bear. I made me some bridges and I slicked down my hair. And I'd go a-walking each day of the week from the foot of Mount Evans through the canyon so deep. And I'd meet my lover on top of Pikes Peak.
On the top of Pikes Peak.
Covered with glory, covered with mud, he's got the nerve and he's got the blood. The 99th son of the Tennessee stud, big hoss, big hoss. His mammy was a Tennessee 17 gator. His daddy was an outlaw, a rattlesnake hater. Half saddle horse and half alligator, big hoss, big hoss. Bring out the rope and bring out the saddle, we're gonna have a little fun. The stranger that rides him a sitting a straddle is a rootin' tootin' son of a gun. Covered with glory, covered with mud, he's got the nerve and he's got the blood. The 99th son of the Tennessee stud, big hoss, big hoss. When the big hoss raced the Kentucky Queen, his coat turned yellow and his eyes turned green. He was a four-legged flying machine, big hoss, big hoss. 1,000 races and he's never been beat. The gamblers say when he turns on the heat, he's got gold wings on the bottom of his feet, big hoss, big hoss. No one can ride that stallion but me, so he must surely know. My granddaddy rode his granddaddy a long, long time ago. Covered with glory, covered with mud, he's got the nerve and he's got the blood. The 99th son of the Tennessee stud, big hoss, big hoss. I dreamed last night me and big hoss died, with our true lovers by our side, a honeymooning on the great divide, big hoss, big hoss. We flew right into the western sky when the big jet plane came a-creeping by. You ought to have seen that big hoss fly, big hoss, big hoss. Bring out the rope and bring out the saddle, we're gonna have a little fun. The stranger that rides him a-sitting a straddle is a rootin' tootin' son of a gun. Covered with glory, covered with mud, he's got the nerve and he's got the blood. The 99th son of the Tennessee stud, big hoss, big hoss. Tucum was an Indian brave out in New Mexico. Carrie was a beautiful maid and she loved old Tucum so. They promised they would both be true and someday they would marry. But they both died on the top of a mountain and they call it Tucumcari. Tonopin also fell in love with the big chief's only daughter. He had 10,000 nuggets of gold tied up in the skin of an otter. The big chief said, "You braves may fight for the hand of my daughter Carrie, and the one who lives to tell the tale is the one that she will marry." Carrie hid on the top of the hill where the braves would fight their duel. The love she had for Tucum burned in her heart like a fuel. When Tucum fell by Tonopin's knife, up rushed the maiden Carrie. Tonopin caught her in his arms, said, "Right here we will marry." While he was searching for her lips, she pulled her silver dagger. She stabbed it deep into his heart, which made him scream and stagger. She knelt right down by Tucum's side. She could not keep from crying. She plunged her dagger in her own heart when she saw her love was dying. When Big Chief saw the tragedy, he burst the skin of otter. The nuggets rolled all over the hill and around his dying daughter. He took the dagger from her hand, his voice rang o'er the prairie. The last words that they heard him say was, "Goodbye, Tucumcari." The Indian maidens and the braves out in New Mexico still fall in love just like they did a long, long time ago. They sing and dance and make romance, and when they want to marry, the song they sing in the native tongue is "Goodbye, Tucumcari. Goodbye, Tucumcari. Goodbye, Tucumcari. Goodbye, Tucumcari. Goodbye. Oh, the Manitou's bug found a little piece of ground, and he rolled it all around. Oh, he rolled it up the rainbow and he sent it whirling down. That's what made the world that we live in. Oh, the Manitou's puppy dragged his tail upon the ground, while the rain was pouring down. Oh, the Manitou's puppy dragged his tail upon the ground. That's what made the Mississippi River. Oh, the Manitou's piggy rooted holes in the ground, while his brothers fooled around. Oh, the Manitou's piggy rooted holes in the ground. And that's what made the bottoms of the oceans. Oh, the Manitou's kitty raked him up a little mound, and he didn't make a sound. Oh, the Manitou's kitty raked him up a little mound. That's what made the mighty Rocky Mountains. Oh, the Manitou's barber cut his whiskers all around. He shaved him all around, cut his whiskers all around, and they sprouted and they rooted where they fell upon the ground. That's what made the trees in the forest. Oh, the Manitou's granny picked her geese in the sky, and she made the feathers fly. Oh, the Manitou's granny picked her geese in the sky. That's what makes the snow in the winter. Oh, the Manitou's father was a smithy up on high. He winked his mighty eye, beat his hammer on his thigh. Oh, the Manitou's father was a smithy in the sky. That's what made the lightning and the thunder. Oh, the Manitou's daughter was so happy that she cried, on the day she was a bride. Oh, the Manitou's daughter was so happy that she cried, and that's what makes the rain in the summer. Oh, the Manitou sun blew his bugle in his nose, bugle in his nose. Oh, and what do you suppose? Oh, the Manitou sun blew his bugle in his nose. And that's what made the song of creation. I was born one night when the rain was a-pouring, the thunder was a-bumping and the wind was a-blowing, the river was a-bucking and the boat was a-rocking, and that's how my life began. My mammy was the queen of a town on the river. She took up with my daddy and they never did forgive her. My mammy tamed my daddy and my daddy tamed the river, and they called him a big river man. It takes a big man to tame a bigger river, takes a big man to tame a bigger river, takes a big man to tame a bigger river, and I'm gonna be a big river man. I've sailed on the sea and I've sailed on the ocean, sailed on the river and I like the river motion. The girls on the river cause my loving heart to quiver, and they tremble when I take them by the hand. A big river man is like a bear after honey. The girls on the river go crazy over money. My daddy had the money and my daddy got the honey, and they called him a big river man. It takes a big man to tame a bigger river, takes a big man to tame a bigger river, takes a big man to tame a bigger river, and I'm gonna be a big river man. Got me a girl, she lives away up the river, with an angel in her heart and a devil in her liver. She's got the sweetest kisses and I want her for my missus. Oh boy, she's a beautiful sight. She sent me word she would be my sugar bowl if I would tame the river of her ever-loving soul. Pull out the throttle and a shovel in the coal, we're a-going up the river tonight. It takes a big man to tame a bigger river, takes a big man to tame a big river, takes a big man to tame a bigger river, and I'm gonna be a big river man. Oh Lord, I'm gonna be a big river man. When I was a boy, I lived in Kentucky. I came from a place where the Nollichucky ran. Didn't have a dime, but I guess I was lucky. I lived in a house with a Banjer Pickin Man. Ma plowed the corn and the beans and the taters. Ma chopped the wood and tended to the farm. Poor old Pa had to visit with the neighbors. Everywhere he went, he had his banjo on his arm. His eyes were blue and his hair was a yeller. The boys all called him Nollichucky Dan. The girls all said he was a good-looking feller. Everybody loved that Banjer Pickin Man. 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 Too many kids started Ma to getting dizzy. Along came another and she began to weep. Would have been more, but Pa was too busy playing on his banjo when he ought to been asleep. Pa was a-playing one night about 11. Along came an angel and carried him away. Now they say he's a-playing up in heaven. Some folks say they heard him every day. His eyes were blue and his hair was a yeller. The boys all called him Nollichucky Dan. The girls all said he was a good-looking feller. Everybody loved that Banjer Pickin Man. 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 Here I sit just a-planking and a-plinking, strumming and a-thumbing like an Ethiopian. Got me a gal and I begin to thinking someday I'm going to be a Banjer Pickin Man. His eyes were blue and his hair was a yeller, and the boys all called him Nollichucky Dan. The girls all said he was a good-looking feller. Everybody loved that Banjer Pickin Man. 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 What's the use of talking when it's fun to go a-walking with the birds and bees among the shady bowers? just to be a rover where the brooks are bubbling over and the mountainsides are covered up in flowers. What's the use of moping when it's good to be a-hoping that you'll find your honey waiting for her lover? When I see my Sally wave her apron in the valley, I go jumping through the bushes high above her. Living on the mountaintop, high up on the mountaintop, I love somebody way down in the valley. She won't climb the mountaintop, for my old man don't like her pop, and I don't ever go down in that valley. I meet her on the mountainside and hope someday that she'll decide to tell me that she's ready for the fodder. We won't live on the mountaintop nor in the valley with her pop, but in a little shanty in the holler. Slipping round a courtin' is a game that's really sportin' when you know your folks are really hard agin it. Ain't it tantalizing when you stand there realizing that her pappy may be coming any minute? Every time I meet her, she gets just a little sweeter, and my love for her each day is growing stronger. I'm a-getting bolder, and if she don't let me hold her, I'm afraid that I can't stand it any longer. Living on the mountaintop, high up on the mountaintop, I love somebody way down in the valley. She won't climb the mountaintop, for my old man don't like her pop, and I don't ever go down in that valley. I meet her on the mountainside and hope someday that she'll decide to tell me that she's ready for the fodder. We won't live on the mountaintop nor in the valley with her pop, but in a little shanty in the holler. When I first got to San Juan Hill with a 6-gun in my belt, they gave me a horse that the devil couldn't kill, and they called him Roosevelt. Every time I'd call his name, he'd kick his heels and snort, but he calmed right down and he got real tame when I called him Old Teddy for short. We fought all day and we fought all night till the Spaniards got their fill. They all learned how Old Teddy could fight at the Battle of San Juan Hill. Well, I got trapped on San Juan Hill by about 300 men. I thought I was dead, but old Teddy shook his head and the big fight started in. He bit them boys and he pawed them boys and he really fought to kill. He wheeled right around and his heels left the ground and he kicked them all off the hill. We fought all day and we fought all night till the Spaniards got their fill. They all learned how old Teddy could fight at the Battle of San Juan Hill. I told my honey I'd come straight home as soon as the war was o'er, but the boats wouldn't cross, so I jumped on my horse and we headed for the Texas shore. We made it all right till a storm came along and we couldn't find a place to land. Old Teddy saw a whale and he grabbed him by the tail and we headed up the Rio Grande. We fought all day and we fought all night till the Spaniards got their fill. They all learned how old Teddy could fight at the Battle of San Juan Hill. When I got home, I cashed my notes and bought me a chunk of range. Old Teddy's still a-kicking and a-sowing his oats all over the western plains. He eats my bread and he drinks my corn, and you ought to hear him snort. He's the best darned horse that ever was born, and I call him Old Teddy for short. We fought all day and we fought all night till the Spaniards got their fill. They all learned how old Teddy could fight at the Battle of San Juan Hill. We fought all day and we fought all night till the Spaniards got their fill. They all learned how old Teddy could fight at the Battle of San Juan Hill. When I was a lad on the Emerald Isle, I heard many stories, both lovely and wild, about the great dragons and monsters that be, that swallow the ships when they sail on the sea. Though I was an artist with canvas and paints, I sailed with St. Brendon and his jolly saints. We told the good people goodbye for a while. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle. We'd been on the ocean just 94 days and came to a place where the sea was ablaze. The devils from Hades were yelling with glee and burning the sailors alive on the sea. Then St. Brendon walked on the blistering waves and drove all the demons right back to their caves. And all of the saints had a heavenly smile. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle. One night as the brethren were lying asleep, a great dragon came up from out of the deep. He thundered and lightened, and his mighty din awakened St. Brendon and all of his men. The dragon came on with his mouth open wide. We threw in a cross and the great dragon died. We skinned him and cooked him and feasted a while. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed for St. Brendon's fair isle. At last we came unto that heavenly land. We all went ashore and we walked on the sand. We took our longbows and we killed a zebu. We roasted his hounds and had hot barbecue. When after the meal we were singing a song, we noticed our island was moving along. We ate and we drank and we rode in high style. We sailed on St. Brendon's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed on St. Brendon's fair isle. St. Brendon said, boys, this is much to my wish. We ride on the back of the world's biggest fish. Hold tight to the rope that is dragging our ship. We'll need it someday if the fish takes a dip. We've sailed every ocean, we've sailed every sea. We've seen every sight that a sailor could see. In 44 days we rode 10 million miles. We sailed on St. Brendon's fair isle, fair isle. We sailed on St. Brendon's fair isle. One night as I lay on my pillow, the moonlight as bright as the dawn, I saw a man a-walking. He had a long chain on. I heard his chain a-clanking. It made a mournful sound. Welded around his body, dragging along on the ground. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He stood beside my window. He looked at me and he said, I am so tired and hungry. Give me a bite of your bread. He didn't look like a robber. He didn't look like a thief. His voice was as soft as the moonlight. His face full of sorrow and grief. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. I went into my kitchen, got him a bowl full of meat, a drink and a pan of cold biscuits. That's what I gave him to eat. Though he was tired and hungry, a bright light came over his face. He bowed his head in the moonlight. He said a beautiful grace. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. I fetched my hammer and chisel, offered to set him free. He shook his head and said sadly, I guess we had best let it be. When he had finished his supper, he thanked me again and again. Though it's been years since I saw him, I still heard him dragging his chain. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on. He had a long chain on.